Change, 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 all over the place, change. I remember when we used to come down here and we used to go over beyond this reclaimed land, right beyond, and we had the old Napoleonic War maritime forts, and we had one down there called the Martello Tower, known locally to us Leithers as the Tally Tour. We used to go there on a Sunday, family picnic as such, and it would be mostly bread and spread with some margarine and sprinkled with sugar, which was a real treat. I was born in 48 Shore, which is an old tenement building on the shore, as the name implies. My mother, father and 3 brothers were up there, and it was very, very poverty-stricken old tenement buildings, and my dad had to work as and when jobs came along, and he travelled a bit to find the work. We had pigeons which he kept for racing, but we also had rabbits which occasionally found their way into the pot. It was enjoyable times. There was a big extended family and all Leithers, very proudly all Leithers, and there's a separate kind of sort of identity which separates Leith from Edinburgh. In Edinburgh they'll say, come in, you'll have had your tea. In Leith on the shore they would say, come in and have your tea, son. Place to be, place for community spirit. This is the area of the docks actually where they used to have train loads of coal wagons from the Lothian coalfields which were brought here, and they would be literally a wagon at a time lifted by steam operated hoists which lifted the carriages of coal up and decanted it into the holds of the ships. There was an occasion I remember when coal was on the quayside, so I used to bring my brother with an old wash house pram, as I used to refer to it as. He'd be sitting on the top, and I would remove him and the base of the pram and then load it with coal. Place him back on top with a blanket on top, and the police would look at you suspiciously as your wee brother, who used to be in the bottom of the pram, was ended up sitting on a pile of coal under a blanket. And then that was taken back to the tenement, where we had to painstakingly, with my mum and dad and others, take it up to the landing on the top floor. At the time, my mum had been a cook in a Merchant Navy canteen. Most of the women around the Leith area used to work either in the whisky bonds, in the bottling and labelling and packaging, or they would work in the then Duncan's chocolate factory. There was also the roperie, which was in Dockland area, and as the name implied, produced ropes for the shipbuilding industry. Lots of places for work in the Leith area. It was a busy time, docks were busy, lots of industry, and I think all of that engendered a spirit of community as well. We were also invited to the Dockers picnics, which was a huge adventure, going to the old North Leith station, which was part of the many stations which existed in the area at the time, and we would go to far-flung destinations, Dunfermline, Kirkcaldy, Beveridge Park, and they were really, really smashing out. And you would, everybody wore a tinny, an enamel mug around their neck, usually tied on with a piece of white tape, and your name invariably was scribbled on the tinny, and this was to make sure if you got lost, people know where to bring you back to. But we also wore this tinny round your neck like a badge of probably like impoverished pride. We are Leithers, we're Dockers, and we're off to see the world, and it was really, really a smashing day's outing for us Leith laddies and lasses, it has to be said. But the docks were busy then, yes. Very, very busy. There was shipping from all over the globe. There was the wine trade. There was timber and the like from the Baltic areas. And when the guys didn't get jobs on the day, their paybook would be stamped with a bluish purple oval-shaped insignia. And that was referred to, if you didn't get a day's pay or a day's work, a duck egg. And that duck egg became part of the Leith urban legend, which made us what we are, and proudly so, I feel. There was a time in the 50s, maybe early middle 50s, when not so much seamen and world travellers who called to the Leith ports, other than we got lots of, we think they were Frenchmen from the Normandy region of France, and they sold onions around the doors. They used to lease a small property or shop for the summer season, which was their season, and they would studiously string onions together and string them from the handles of their bikes, and they would be referred to locally as Onion Johnnies, and they'd go around the shops and the houses and sell their wares, and they brought a flavour of the continent to us folks in Leith who probably didn't see many foreigners at all, but certainly the Onion Johnnies brought that wee bit colour and that wee bit far-flungness to that wee community of ours. There's an awful lot of changes have occurred from the period of the 60s, 70s, when Leith became yuppified, gentrified, when the docks were in decline, when dock labour was in decline. The history of Leith as such, as I remember it, when it used to be said in the old music hall days, if there were a table and chairs on Leith pavements in the 50s and 60s, it was an eviction. It's probably now, more recently, a bistro. And now it's all new and upmarket and money's invested in different things for different reasons. And Leith, as such, that I remember, was certainly a place where the community spirit was prevalent and smashing.